Warning. This game contains epilepsy, shaking screens, extreme violence, non-consensual adult fun time acts, full nudity, extreme gore, use of alcohol, use of drugs, non-consensual use of drugs, self-harm, suicide, parasites, insectophobia, mind control, hallucinations. It's only for 18 plus audience. Viewers' discretion is advised. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boyfriend to Death. This has been a game that's been requested to death, so hey, glad we're finally here. Let's get right into it, shall we? I got so drunk last night, I almost forgot my name. What was it again? My name's Lionel. How's it going? Right, my name's Lionel. It's really hard to adjust to this college since I had to leave my hometown to come here. I've been pretty lonely. I got up and started looking around. I picked up some flyers on the side table. There's some cool looking places to hang out there. Maybe I should go to one of these places tonight. Which one should I go to? Gosh darn. Man, which one should I go to? I mean, I know y'all would want me to go see Strade away. So, hey, why don't we go for the best boy, Strade? This bar seems nice. I just threw on whatever I had that was clean and headed out. It was a small pub, but lively. It had a real charm to it, but I wasn't quite feeling the relaxed vibe yet. I let out a small sound as someone bumped into me. Sorry. I quickly moved to the corner. I took a seat in the corner and tried to make myself seem smaller. The jostling and laughter of the other patrons was starting to make me feel out of place. Hey there. Someone was speaking to me? He had a bright, friendly smile and a fairly thick accent. He placed a beer in front of me. You look down. This one's on me. I looked at the beer in front of me and then at the man. Was it that obvious that I was depressed? Oh, thanks a lot. I try to say as cheerfully as I can. He slid into the seat in front of me. So, what's your name? Oh gosh, my name's Lionel. Nice to meet ya. Hey now, no need to be so formal. Name's Strade. He was so cheerful, it was infectious. So, what's on your mind, buddy? Oh, I've been going to school. It's been super busy. Most of my friends don't have the time to come out anymore. Sounds like a drag. You haven't seen your friends a while now? Oh gosh, I haven't seen them in a while, but screw it. I don't need them to have fun. I see them once in a while, but with finals not as often. Not in a while. I've been trying to meet new people. I guess I'll go with the last option. I let out a sigh. Strade was giving me an odd look, so I tried to smile. It's no surprise you're feeling a bit down. Nah, but I'm starting to feel a bit better. Hey Lionel, that's what coming to a bar is for, right? I looked down at my mostly empty beer. You drink pretty quick. I didn't even notice. I better head home. It's getting late. I need to use the bathroom real quick. Or hey, you want to get out of here? I mean, either way, I'm gonna get kidnapped. But hey, let's see what happens if I ask him to go out. Or what happens if I just use the bathroom? Like, why not? That beer went straight right through you. Yeah, I'll be right back. I shut the door behind me and leaned on it for a moment. That guy was pretty nice. I should really get out of here though. I wandered over to the sink to wash my hands and look at the running water. The sink was so loud, I almost didn't hear the door of the bathroom opening. Move! I tried to move away from Strade, but he was too fast. Strade kicked me right in the stomach. Why would you kick me already? I felt my head hit the tile behind me. Damn it. Oh my god, my vision started to go black. All I could remember was that grin as I hit the ground. I woke up, groggy. What happened? It was dark. I started to breathe hard as I felt ropes around my arms. I couldn't move. I began to panic. I'm gonna yell for Strade. Yo, Strade! The hell am I? I listened for a reply. Suddenly, I heard some loud thumping down the set of stairs behind me. You're already awake. How you feeling, Lionel? My wrist hurt. Like, what did you do to me, Strade? Did I tie you too tight? He leaned forward and grinned. I can't help it. You look nice with some rope burn. I shifted on the floor uncomfortably. Well, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding here. Misunderstanding? No, I know what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot. Before we get started, you want something to eat, drink? Get started. With what? I couldn't think too hard on it before I felt my stomach churn. I hadn't eaten since lunch before I went to the bar. Who knows how long it's been since then. Well, yeah, I could use something to eat. Sure. He walked away for a moment and came back with a wrap bar. He unwrapped it and held it in front of me. My wrists are still tied. You're gonna feed me? I don't want you to starve. Oh, thank you, Strade. Like, despite the circumstances and you punching me straight in the stomach, like, this is nice. I didn't want to think about what he did once. I leaned forward and ate the bar while he waited patiently. I tried to finish quickly since the whole thing was so awkward. Not bad, I nodded, trying to smile appreciatively. Strade pulls out a large hunting knife. Yo, Strade, what up? Fear came flooding back as I squirmed nervously. What are you doing? Your clothing's in the way. He shoved the knife under my sleeve and began to tear them apart. This is kind of kinky, but okay. I'll do anything you want. Really? I gulped and nodded. Anything. He leaned back against the countertops and tapped the knife to his bottom lip thoughtfully, then grinned. All right. He circled around me and began to untie my wrists. I looked up at him questioningly as he leaned back against the counter. Take off the rest of your clothes. He held up his knife and waved it in a lazy threat. And stay on the floor. I looked at my clothing and back to him with a slow nod. I pulled off my ripped shirt. He was watching, starting to look a bit impatient. I slipped my pants down and out from under me quickly. I could feel myself getting redder. Should I take off my underwear? You can leave it on. For now. He stepped forward and crouched close. I took in a breath as he thrust his knife in front of me, then stared as he flipped it in his hand, holding out the hilt to me. Take it. He's giving me the knife? I took it slowly and kept my eyes on him. He straightened up again and looked down at me. Cut yourself. My eyes widened. Yo, wait, what? This is not the sort of knife play I'm into. Strade? I looked slowly to the knife and at my exposed legs. I'ma cut my leg then. I grasped the knife tightly. And lowered it to my own leg. I pushed the blade down and raked it across my skin. It was sharp. It went in deeper than I expected. I looked at my blood welling up in a line on my thigh. I began to tremble. Yeah. Is this good? More. I bite my lip. Yeah, sure. Okay. I breathed out slowly and pushed the blade down onto my other thigh. I glanced up as I heard Strade breathing loudly. Come on. Deeper than that. I started trembling harder. I pushed the blade deep into my leg with a shuddering groan. He was panting softly. Your arm. I looked up at him pleadingly. He noticed my face. Just a bit more, Lionel. Then I'll let you go. I gulped. My hand was still shaking. Do it! I slashed the blade across my forearm. I didn't mean to cut that deep. I looked wide-eyed at the blood pouring from my arm. I was starting to feel woozy. Strade. I gasped and held my arm, trying to slow the bleeding. I didn't. He leaned closer, breathing hard. You're doing such a good job. This is a really weird fetish, Strade. He reached out and smeared some of the blood on my arm. Just a bit more. The knife was feeling heavier in my hand. I don't know if I can. He cut my cheek and rubbed his forehead on my own. His command came in a quiet growl. Cut yourself. I lifted the knife again, sweating. Oh my god! Strade, no! Anything for Strade! Oh god, I'm choking. Oh god. Oh no. I wheezed and slashed a knife brutally across my own arm. I could barely control my limbs. I looked down dully. I must have hit something. Blood was pooling around me. I heard a quiet chuckle through the ringing in my ears. You're really something. He started laughing. Help? I couldn't keep my head up. The floor felt so cold. He wasn't moving. He just watched as I slumped into a pool of my own blood and laughed. Oh god, I just did everything. Oh no, that's not the way I wanted to end this. Okay, this time I'm not gonna cut myself. I'm not gonna play through all the routes. I just want to play enough to see the plot. I held the knife, shaken. It hurt. I couldn't do it. No, can't handle it anymore. I gasped as he bent forward quickly and swiped the knife from my hand. Wait! He was already behind me, wrenching my arms back around the pole to retie my wrists. Don't worry, I'll take care of the rest. He smiled and plunged the knife deep into my leg. I doubled forward, letting out a pained scream. He withdrew the knife and blood began to pour out of the wound. He wiped his knife off of his pants. Oh no, look how much you're bleeding. He didn't look very upset. The pain was making me feel foggy. I looked up at him, bleary-eyed, trying to focus. You're not gonna last like that. He leaned in and smiled at me. Would you like me to stitch those up for you? I will ask him nicely. I gulped and swallowed my pride. Please, help me. Great. He walked to some cupboards on the other side of the room and retrieved a small medical kit. He sat in front of me and opened it up. He hummed as he pulled out a small curved needle and thread. The cheerful smile that made me feel so relaxed at the bar was starting to make me feel sick. He poked his finger once with needle, then pressed it to my skin. This is probably gonna hurt. He barely finished his sentence before pressing the needle through my skin. I gasped and shook, squeezing my eyes shut. I tried to grit my teeth through the pain. He moved very quickly and surely, as if he'd done it a million times before. Almost. He tugged at the sutures on the last wound, making me gasp. Done. I sighed in relief. He held up a bottle and a small cloth. I almost forgot. Alcohols. Wait just a second! He splashed the liquid over my fresh cut sloppily. I hissed in a sharp breath through my teeth. It burned. There we go. Better. I was trying to catch my breath. I couldn't trust myself to answer him without starting to cry. He didn't seem to care about my answer anyway. He was breathing evenly and straightening his shirt. I'll take that as a yes. He bent down again to touch my face. I've decided. I'll be good. Ik werd das hier Oskosten. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. I just stared up at him, trying to make sense of what he said. He gave me 2 light pats on the cheek. Get some rest, okay, Lionel? He straightened up and stretched cheerfully, then walked down the stairs. He's going to leave me here? He thumped up the stairs, and I called after him desperately. Wait, don't just leave me! I jerked as I heard the door slam. He did it. He just left me here. Just as I was about to get all hot and bothered. Gosh darn it, Strade! I looked down at my legs, covered in red stitched up wounds. It still hurt like crazy. I need to keep it together. I should just try to get some rest. I woke up in a cold sweat. The first thing I became aware of were the pain and the cold basement floor underneath me. I must have passed out. I squinted at the darkness around me. Still in this hellhole basement. I tugged against the ropes behind me. My wrist slid a bit. I tugged harder. It came out. I rubbed my sore wrist gingerly. My heart was pounding. Okay, I need to think about this. I can move around. What should I do? Definitely search for food and water. Alright, I need to focus on surviving. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow! I realized I was pretty hungry. That tiny bit of food that Strade gave me must have been from a long time ago. There must be more food where that came from. I spotted a little fridge off in the corner. I limped over to the fridge and pulled it open. Aha! I covered my mouth. The little fridge had a bright light. My eyes adjusted and I froze. No. There were organs, hearts, in cheap Tupperware. I stopped what I was doing. Yeah. Who was I kidding? I wasn't gonna make it out of here alive. I slipped over the counter. Look at all these tools. He's not gonna win this. I'm gonna win this. I picked up a long screwdriver. I'm gonna get the last laugh. I leaned back and I thrust the screwdriver into my eye. Wait, no. No. God damn it. All right, this time I made sure that I cut myself only once. Because I realized I need to keep my sanity up if I want to get some food. So yeah, let's search for some food and water. Alright, I have to focus on surviving. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow. I realized I was pretty hungry. The tiny bit of food that Strade gave me must have been a pretty long time ago. There must be food where that came from. I spotted a little fridge off in the corner. I limped over to the fridge and pulled it open. Yeah! I covered my mouth. The little fridge had a bright light. My eyes adjusted and I froze. No. There were organs. Hearts? In cheap Tupperware. I felt bile rise up in my throat and turned to the side. I have to keep it together. I looked again. Next to the container, there were a few cans of beers and a sandwich bag with what looked like cooked steak. I am gonna drink and eat. I steeled myself. Survival. I picked up the cold beer, cracked the top and took a sip. It certainly wasn't anything fancy, but I was incredibly thirsty. Thirsty for Strade. I drank it quickly. I began to feel a bit better. Okay, I need to eat. I slowly picked up the meat in the bag. I gulped and opened it. It smells like steak. Alright, I made my decision. Come on. I shoved the meat in my mouth and tried to eat it as quickly as possible. It was a little tough, but it really did taste like steak. I'm pretty sure it was steak. I closed the fridge. I let out a heavy sigh. I heard some movements upstairs. Ah, poo! I scrambled back to my spot at the base of the pole in the middle of the basement. I slipped my wrist back into the loosened ropes. I listened for a while, but I didn't hear anything else. My head began to drop, and soon I slipped into a restless sleep. I woke abruptly as something kicked my leg. Oh, what's up, Strade? I came to my senses and remembered where I was. Still sleeping, Lionel? Aren't you looking chipper? You're all fresh and ready for a new day. I groaned and pulled at the ropes. So, how about something to eat? He bent down and waved something in front of me. It was another one of those energy bars. I will accept the food. I looked at the bar. I need my strength. Yeah, please. Ah, so polite. He leaned forward more, pressing himself against me. I shifted uncomfortably. He untied my wrists. He leaned back and handed me the bar. I unwrapped it, eyeing him nervously. He kept grinning as he suddenly flashed a knife at his hip. I got the message. I ate the bar quickly. I gulped and felt a little better. I flinched as he reached out. He ruffled my hair and took the wrapper. Good. He tossed the wrapper on the already dirty basement floor. You know, I feel like we're really getting to know each other. I know it hasn't been long, but this sort of experience, it speeds things up. He leaned closer to me. It's the adrenaline. You're excited. I'm excited. He leaned even closer as he retied my wrists. I could smell him. Sweat and some sort of machine grease. We're sharing something real personal. You look a little scared. I tried my best to glare at him instead. I can tell how you're feeling. He looked me up and down while picking his teeth. You're all tied up on the floor. Some guy's basement. And who knows what I'll do to you. Helpless, right? I must have just been staring at him. I couldn't think of anything to say. I'll give you some control. What happens next is completely up to you. I saw him turn around and gather a few items from a nearby table. Here's your choice, Lionel. What'll it be? Drill or hammer? Oh, god damn it! Drill! I raised the shaky hand and pointed at the drill. Aha, the drill. Really? Good choice. I was kinda hoping you'd pick it. He walked to a counter and plugged in the drill. I gulped and pressed my knees together. He returned with the drill. He bent close to me and pressed the trigger, letting it whir in the air. I squirmed, my breath starting to get shallow. Don't. He lowered it to the skin on top of my foot, teasing it. No. I tried to pull my foot away, but he grabbed it with his other hand. Then he pressed the drill down, tearing through some flesh. I'm screaming! I screamed to the ceiling. As he pulled it out, I began to sob. Strade stopped what he was doing and started staring at me. I started to squirm a bit. He was staring so intently. You. He kneeled and got very close to me. What are you? Was he sniffing my hair? Hey, stop! I screamed out and looked down. I didn't realize he had his knife out. He was cutting into my... Whoa! 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 Oh god, I think he loves me a bit too much. I was panting and sweating. I noticed he was doing the same. Hey, calm down, Strade. He moaned and smeared my blood over my chest. I started shaking. Stop, Strade. Something about the crazed look on his face made me start to hyperventilate. He pressed himself against me and reached behind me. I thought it was some sort of hug at first, but then I realized he was untying me. He shoved me down to the ground. Yep, before I could regain my bearings, he took my underwear off. I squeaked embarrassingly. Wait. I kicked my legs at him weakly as he unzipped himself. He had no trouble yanking my tired and bloody knees apart. I took in a sharp breath. He pushed inside of me. Okay. Alright, if you guys want to see the fully uncensored version of this scene, it's gonna be over on my Patreon. Strade loved you too much? Wait, excuse me, what? God damn it. Bro, what happens if I don't scream? Okay, this time I'm not gonna scream. As he pulled it out, I began to sob. Oh god damn it, it doesn't make a difference. What happens if I don't pick like either drill or hammer? Let's see how that goes. Will it be drill or hammer? Well, I ain't gonna pick it. Like, no, not playing your damn game straight. You ain't cool at all. I don't like you that much. Yeah, I'm not gonna play this game. I kept my mouth shut and glared at him. He stepped closer to me. You don't want to choose. He rested his boot on my cut-up thigh, then ground it down. I lurched forward in pain. My wounds began to ooze blood again. He rolled my leg under his foot. Can't take it, huh? The responsibility of choice. He leaned down. I suppose some people weren't meant to have any control. He looked at me, and I thought I saw some hint of sympathy for a moment. Don't worry. I'll pick for you. He grinned and looked at both tools, then raised the hammer. He walked to a counter and grabbed a handful of nails. I gulped and tried to pull my knees closer. He sat close to me and dropped the nails to the floor. I desperately tried to shuffle out of his reach. He grabbed my leg. I will kick him. No! I kicked his arms with my free leg as hard as I could. I connected with his arm and smashed it away. Whoa! He shook his arm. That'll leave a bruise. He never stopped smiling. It was extremely unnerving. He repositioned himself to cover my leg with his own, then picked up a nail, then positioned it carefully over my knee. He raised the hammer and watched my face. I was sweating and cringing. He slammed the hammer down. I screamed as the nail was forced between the bones and my knees. Stop! Ugh! He hastily grabbed more nails from the floor. You don't have enough holes just yet. I tried to keep my breathing even. He left the nail sticking out of my knee and started position for another one above the knee. No. He brought the hammer down forcefully and was rewarded with another scream. I couldn't hold it back. It hurt so badly. Now we're getting somewhere. He breathed out slowly. He was shuddering slightly. He ran his hands over my leg, purposely smearing his fingers over the blood trickling from the nails. Moan? Wait, what? He traced a finger around a nail with his finger. You need more. No, I don't need any more. Please. Don't be so modest. He placed another nail near the first one and drove it in. I cried and slumped forward. I whimpered into my lap as he fumbled for more nails. Whoops. I groggily raised my head. There's a screw in here. What? What was he on about? He pointed the screw down on my skin and raised the hammer. Wait, no, straight. Jangan, no. He swung hard and the screw tore into my thigh. I couldn't help but let out a fresh scream. Blood was running down my leg in tiny rivers. Strade stopped what he was doing and started staring at me. I started to squirm a bit. He was staring so intently. You. Oh, god damn it, he likes me too much again! Okay, this time I'm just gonna stonewall Strade while we're in the basement, so let's see how that goes. I stayed quiet and tried to understand my surroundings. It looked like I was in some kind of garage or basement. There were tools everywhere and I smelled something coppery. My thoughts were interrupted by some slow thumping down the set of stairs behind me. Oh, you're finally awake. How you feeling, Lionel? I'm gonna stay quiet. I kept my mouth shut and glared at my captor. His smile faltered. He stared at me for a moment and then swiftly kicked me in the stomach. The heavy boot dug into my gut as all the air escaped my lungs. I tried to catch my breath as he loomed over me. Why so quiet now? We were having a good chat at the bar. I was just wondering how you're feeling. I'm gonna stay quiet. Strade bent down slowly and pulled a knife from his hip. I wanted to continue our conversation, but if he'd rather scream instead, he flashed a knife at me with a twisted smile. Then he plunged it into my arm. The pain shot up my arm as I felt the blade dig into my flesh. The knife stopped at the bone and a new wave of pain came. I looked up at him as he kept the knife firmly in place. I'm not gonna scream. I clenched my teeth and tried to make so much noise. Strade leaned in and looked at me intensely. I could feel the tip of the knife digging into my bones as he twisted his knife. He pulled out the knife quickly. I could feel the knife ripping its way back out of my skin. The wound throbbed with every one of my heartbeats. I could feel my blood dripping down my arm as I turned my head to look at him. Alright, Kumpel. How are you feeling? I'm gonna stay quiet. Strade's smile faded. He looked over at me slowly and bit the nail of his thumb. Yeah, I see what you're doing here, but I think you're not quite understanding the situation. He placed his hand on my head firmly. I want to hear your voice. I glared at him, gritting my teeth hard. I'm not giving this butthole anything he wants. He flashed a knife, still wet with my blood. And I know just how to get what I want. I felt my resolve breaking. Wait, He plunged the blade into my gut, just below the ribs. I looked down, eyes wide. I felt oddly detached from the hand and blade so deep inside of me. I felt oddly detached from the hand and blade so deep inside of me. I tried to take a breath, but pain exploded throughout my body, forcing me back to reality. I tried to hold back a scream, but he began to tear the blade to the side. I couldn't hold it back anymore. I screamed and tears rolled down my face. Stop! I'll talk! He wasn't listening anymore. He was looking at my stomach with hysterical excitement. He tossed the knife to the side and shoved his hand into the wound. His hands ripped the bleeding hole wider. I felt my body stiffen and just wanted to pass out, but I couldn't. Oh my god, I'm censoring this. So long story short, Strade pulled out our guts. He pulled our guts out. So my guess is we're actually at a divergent point here where we need to figure out what exactly we can do about Strade. Searching for food and water is definitely gonna get us killed. So this time I would suppose searching for a weapon would be a good idea, because getting more rest ain't gonna help us. I can't just sit around. I need to fight back. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow. The entire basement was full of potential weapons, tools everywhere. I looked at several saws, an axe, a sledgehammer. Wait, how am I going to attack him? Imagine a few scenarios. They were risky at best. I decided that my best option was to pretend I was tied up as he left me. He'll get nice and close and then I need something small. I searched countertops and drawers. One drawer was full of knives. Perfect. I picked out a medium-sized knife. Suddenly, I heard some movement upstairs. Who? I scrambled back to my spot at the base of the pole in the middle of the basement. I sat on top of the knife and slipped my wrist back into the loosened ropes. I listened for a while but didn't hear anything else. My head began to drop and soon I slipped into restless sleep. I woke up abruptly as something kicked my legs. What? Yeah! I came to my senses and remembered where I was. Still sleeping, Lionel? Aren't you looking chipper? All fresh and ready for a new day. I groaned and pulled at the ropes. I stopped as I felt how loose they were. Right, the knife. I looked up at my captor. I need to strike at the right time. So, how about something to eat? He bent down and waved something in front of me. It was another one of those energy bars. I will accept the food. I looked at the bar. I need my strength. Yes, please. So polite. He leaned forward more, pressing himself against me. I shifted uncomfortably. Stab! I grabbed the knife under myself. I tried to cut through the rope quickly without tipping him off. There! I wasted no time. I clutched the knife and plunged it toward his neck with as much force as I could master. Whoa! I stared at him, then looked at my wrist. Look at this. It was in his tight grasp. No, I picked the wrong time! He slowly picked the knife from my hand and tossed it aside. In one swift motion, he wrenched my arm behind my back and pushed my face to the floor. I wheezed under his weight as he pressed me down. I could feel his head right next to mine, breathing on my neck. That was interesting. He pressed harder onto my arm. I really admire your enthusiasm. I couldn't help but cry out. But you're a bit of a problem, aren't you? He got up off me and dusted himself off. I rolled onto my back so that I could look at him and try to sit up. But I was interrupted by a sharp kick to the side. I tried to yell, but the wind was knocked out of me. I could only curl slightly and tear up. Strade moved his boot over my neck. I started to panic as he pressed it down. I tried to claw at the thick boots and his leg. I couldn't do anything. He kept stepping harder and began to laugh. I could feel something inside my neck crunching. Then everything went dark. The last thing I heard was his laughter. Straight crush your neck. Ah, God damn it. He leaned even closer as he retied my wrists. I could smell him, sweat, and some sort of machine grease. We're sharing something real personal. You look a little scared. I tried my best to glare at him instead. I can tell how you're feeling. He looked me up and down while picking his teeth. You're all tied up on the floor. Some guy's basement. Who knows what I'll do to you? Helpless. Right. I must have been staring at him. I couldn't think of anything to say. I'll give you some control. What happens next is completely up to you. I saw him turn around and gather a few items on the nearby table. Isn't this a good time to stabby murder time? It's a choice, Lionel. What'll it be? Drill or hammer? Knife! Knife! I want to stabby you! I want to jab you with my... Oh, come on! I'm not playing this game. I kept my mouth shut and glared at him. He stepped closer to me. You don't want to choose. He rested his boot on my cut-up thigh, then ground it down. I lurched forward in pain. My wounds began to ooze blood again. He rolled my leg under his foot. Can't take it, huh? Responsibility of choice. He leaned down. I suppose some people were meant to have any control. He looked at me as I thought I saw a hint of sympathy for a moment. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll pick for you. He grinned and looked at both tools, then raised the drill. He walked to a counter to plug in the drill. I gulped and pressed my knees together. He returned with the drill. He bent close to me and pressed the trigger, letting it whir in the air. I squirmed, my breath starting to get shallow. Don't! He lowered it to the skin on top of my foot, teasing it. No! I tried to pull my foot away, but he grabbed it with his other hand. He pressed the drill down, tearing through flesh. I'm not screaming! As he pulled it out, I began to sob. He shoved the drill back in the same hole in my foot. I let out a hoarse scream as blood sprayed from the spinning drill bit. He moved the drill around sloppily as I twitched and screamed. The pain was blinding. Everything was so loud. The drill, my own cries, and behind it all, Straight chuckling. I screamed and pressed my chin to my chest. I can't take it anymore. I looked up, breathing hard, beginning to twitch all over. Well, look at you. Are you all broken? I could hardly hear him over the sound of blood rushing in my ears. Would you just kill me already? He let out a slow chuckle. Then he turned around and walked up the steps. What? Come back here! I strained against the ropes. I screamed again. I heard him thumping around upstairs, then a cheerful yell. I'll be down in a minute. I let out another frustrated yell. He came back down with his arms full. He had a laptop, a tripod, a big camera, some sort of little black cloth. He set up the camera in front of me. I continued to scream and struggle. That's perfect. He tied the cloth around his face. He kneeled down and grabbed my hair roughly, posing for the camera and holding up the knife. He moved right beside my ear and held the knife to my throat. I'm gonna make you a star. I spent the next 45 minutes screaming. I was only half aware as he cut through my skin again and again, violating me in every possible sense in front of the camera. I thought it would never end. And we're all out of time. Thanks for watching. I could barely feel it as he slashed the knife across my throat. Finally. Strade made me a star. I want to get to the good ending, for the love of God. Okay, there's only one logical option here, which is to say nothing. I'm hoping this actually gets me to the ending where I don't die. I chewed my lip and tried not to react to him. He seemed to be entranced. He leaned forward to untie me. As soon as I was free, I tried to rub my wrist, but he grabbed my shoulder and flinged me to the floor. What? I flipped sideways and caught myself with my elbows. I turned my head to look at him. He was looking at the floor where I was, at the knife. What's this? I froze. He bent down to pick the knife off the floor. I stared at him. He sauntered towards me as I tried to sit up. One of my knives. I shuffled clumsily backwards as he kept closing in. And what were you planning to do with that, huh? I'll admit to planning to stab him. I didn't see any point in trying to hide it. I was waiting. I was gonna stab you. He looked down at me. He started laughing obnoxiously. I began to sweat and backed up a bit more. My hands hit the side of a wooden table, and soon my back was pressed against it. He looked at the knife. You want this back? He was standing over me. I stared in confusion for a moment before shaking my head quickly. He crouched down, straddling me and touching my face softly. You should have it. I felt a point and looked down. He pushed the knife in me, between my ribs. I watched it sink in, slowly and smoothly, in total silence. It felt as though a scream was caught in my throat. It looks better in you. I looked up at him. I want to say something, do something, anything. I opened my mouth and tried to push out the scream. Nothing came out but blood. Raisined. I felt like I was suffocating, but I couldn't cough. He leaned forward and licked blood from my lower lip as I trembled. Then he slid the knife out and watched my blood pool around me. My eyes, I couldn't keep them open. Strade gave your knife back. Are you freaking serious? Is there any way I could win this? Alright, this time I'm gonna try to escape. I had to get the hell out of here. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow. There had to be some way out. I looked around the basement. There were no windows at all. No windows? Does that violate some sort of fire code? I shook my head. That doesn't matter. I looked at the set of stairs leading to the only door and strayed. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. I'll try to sneak out. It's the only way out. I'll just be perfectly silent. I can do this. I tiptoed up the wooden stairs. The door at the top was made of metal. It looked seriously heavy duty. I searched for a handle, having trouble seeing it in the near pitch dark. There! I turned, heard a deep click, and pushed slowly. I froze. That wasn't me. Strade! My blood ran cold. It was some young-sounding voice. Strade! The basement door! The panicked voice started yelling. What do I do? The door swung open, causing me to fall backwards, right into Strade. Look at this. Up and about, sneaking around. I felt like I was frozen. I could only stare at him with my mouth open. He leaned back and kicked me in the stomach. For just a moment, I felt as if I was suspended in the air, but I was falling. I dropped backwards, my body smashing on the stairs and finally the cement floor below. I tried to move, but pain flooded my senses. I was pretty sure my leg was broken. I heard slow thumping. No, I need to get up. I felt his hand clamp down to the back of my neck. Ugh! He yanked me upwards, sending me a fresh wave of pain from my leg. No! Please! I tried to protest, but it was hard to speak. He dragged me over to a table and pushed me down on it. He grabbed the back of my head and ground my face into the wood of the table. I heard a click. Then a much louder noise. No, please, no! It wasn't a table. It was a table saw. I heard a deep chuckle behind me. I screamed as he pushed my face closer to the blade. I felt a blinding pain and a sickening grind. And then, nothing. Strade sawed your head in half. I mean, I wish they would have, given me a freaking pun to go with these. At least that would make it a little easier to get through. So basically, I had to go back, make sure I did not pick up the knife, let him have his way and drill into my damn foot. And now, at the end of it, we're just not gonna say anything about this. We're just not gonna say anything about this. I chewed my lip and tried not to react to him. He seemed to be entranced. He leaned forward to untie me. Yeah! As soon as I was free, I tried to rub my wrists. But he grabbed my shoulder and flinged me to the floor. What? I flipped sideways and caught myself my elbows. I turned my head to look up at him. He was staring at me. I wanted to crawl away. He stepped over me. I felt a heavy boot pushed down on my shoulders. My face was pressed to the cold basement floor. I couldn't see anything. He ground the heel of his boot into my back. I wheezed under him. I felt the weight lift off me. I sat down as I heard some shuffling behind me. I braced for some kind of impact, but I felt him grab my hips instead. I gasped as he pulled them into the air. So there's a scene that contains non-con here. I removed it because, yeah, this is YouTube. I closed my eyes. I laid there as I felt him get up. He tied my hands and propped me back up to the pole, tying me to that too. I couldn't master the energy to fight him. I slumped limply against the pole. Are you all out of jam, buddy? I felt his hand pat my cheek. I vaguely heard him walk away. I wasn't paying attention. My eyelids fluttered. I kept them closed. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't want to move. I heard footsteps on the stairs. My blood ran cold. I listened harder. They were slow and very light. Huh. Well, I'm just gonna stay quiet. I decided to keep quiet and not move. The footsteps approached from the stairs. They were accompanied by a quiet clicking on the cement floor. Clicking? I suddenly heard something sniffing right next to my head. Was that a dog? I opened my eyes. You're alive! Oh no. I blinked a few times. Are those fox ears? These. Well, I can hide them, but he doesn't let me. I blinked again. Was I going crazy? This tiny guy looked like he might run off any second. I will introduce myself. I tried to speak calmly and gently. My name is Lionel. Oh, my name is Ren. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're so cute. I guess. He was starting to look a little less nervous. Ren, I'm badly hurt. I know. He didn't seem to want to look at me. Ren, please, help me. I watched him pleadingly. I can't let you go. I understand. Judging by all the scars covering this creature, I could guess he wouldn't disobey Strade. You're not allowed, right? That's right. He kept fidgeting. I could get you a glass of water. I guess anything would be helpful. I'm sure thirst was contributing to my pain. I'd really appreciate that if it's not too much trouble. Okay. He scampered off behind me when I heard a tap running and some shuffling. Here you go. You're tied up. Sorry. He kneeled close to me and held a cup of water to my lips. I drank it quickly. I guess I really was dehydrated. Thank you, Ren. It's okay. He looked down at my foot, covered in dried blood. I guess I could help you a little with that. I raised my head hopefully as he went to gather a small med kit. He also went back to the sink. He came back down and sat next to me. He washed my foot with a wet cloth. It was warm. I tried not to cry out as he dabbed at the torn hole in my foot. Sorry, I'll try to be a bit more gentle. I tried to smile reassuringly at him. He sprayed a bit of antibiotic on the wound. I can't give you a bandage. He'd notice. I dropped my head before slowly nodding at him. It's okay, Ren. You've helped me a lot. You're welcome. His tail swished happily. I better go. I'm not supposed to be down here. I nodded at him. He left quietly. I looked down. Alone again. At least my foot's a little better. I looked down. Alone again. At least my foot's a little better. I drifted back to sleep. I woke up and blinked. Strade was leaning against the counters and staring at me. I shifted uncomfortably as I remembered everything. Morning, Lionel. You're still in pretty good shape. He licked his lips and crouched in front of me. Yeah, I really should finish you off. But I don't want to. I looked up hopefully. Are you gonna let me go? He rubbed his thumb over my cheek. Of course not. I looked at him in confusion as he grabbed something metal. What is that? He opened the metal ring and clicked it close around my neck. I gasped and tried to look down at it, but couldn't. It's a collar. Don't worry. It looks great on you. It was heavy. I looked up at him. He leaned close to my ear, then spoke quietly and seriously. It's electric. You probably shouldn't step outside. He leaned back and smiled at me. I made it myself. He sighed wistfully. We're gonna have so much fun together. Well, at least I survived. God damn it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. That was Boyfriend to Death, specifically on Strade's route. I might cover the rest of the routes with... Oh god, I completely forgot what everyone else's name was. I just remember that the Zexion looking guy was Akira or something. But hey, I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And if you guys want to play this for yourself, sorry, but I can't put the link down there. Otherwise, YouTube might not like this very much. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lionel, signing off. Ciao.